There's a strange laugh that echoes on nights of strong winds. A short sound, almost childlike, but chilling enough to send shivers down the spine of even the bravest. Imagine walking alone on a dirt road, thick forest on one side, open field on the other, when suddenly a whirlwind of dust rises out of nowhere. Leaves spin, branches creak, and right in the middle of that invisible storm, you swear you saw a small figure with a red cap, just 1 foot stomping the ground with uncanny skill, as if defying the very laws of logic. Who is this presence that shows up between shadow and wind? Is it just the fruit of popular imagination, a tale to scare children, or a real being stalking careless travelers? The Saci Pererê, more than just a legend. He est an enigma passed down through generations, a mischievous spirit that might be hiding in the next whirlwind to rise beside you, laughing as he twists your path. And maybe the most unsettling question isn't who the Saci is, but whether he's still out there, ready to play his tricks the very moment you least expect it. The Saci Pererê, just a character from folklore. He is a true symbol of Brazilian culture, a creation that carries the marks of our history, born from the clashes and blends of different people's beliefs and traditions. To really understand who the Saci is, we need to go back in time, long before he became the mischievous figure in a red cap we know today. His origin comes from a cultural fusion. From the indigenous peoples came the idea of playful forest spirits, beings tied to nature and the wind, who could appear and vanish in an instant. When Africans were brought to Brazil, they carried with them stories and mythologies that mixed into this image. Trickster figures, clever and playful, but also feared, since they could punish those who disrespected nature or their elders. European influence added other elements, like the red cap, possibly inspired by Portuguese legends, or even Celtic magical beings. The result of this encounter was the birth of one of the most iconic figures in Brazilian folklore, the Saci Pererê. Small, quick, always with a pipe in his mouth, and marked by an unmistakable trait. He has only 1 leg, yet moves with supernatural speed, confusing anyone who dares to follow him. Tradition says he appears in whirlwinds of dust, and those sudden little storms that spook travelers are nothing less than the Saci passing by. Over time, the Saci stopped being just a story told around campfires, and became part of Brazil's cultural identity. Writers like Monteiro Lobato helped immortalize him, giving him space in literature and making him known even to children who might never have heard traditional tales from their grandparents. But even though he's often seen as a children's character today, the aura around him is still full of mystery and respect. For many rural communities, he's not just a tale, he's real. The Saci is blamed for hiding objects in the house, braiding horses' manes at night, putting out the fire on the stove, or making food spoil for no reason. He may be mischievous, but he also punishes those who mistreat animals, waste natural resources, or disturb the silence of the night. It's as if the Saci is a hidden guardian, constantly testing human behavior. And so, From one generation to the next, his story has crossed centuries. Today, the Saci is remembered both in folklore festivals and in local stories that still circulate in rural areas, where many swear they've felt his presence or heard his laugh cutting through the wind. But if this figure was born from cultural fusion, spread through literature, and still lives on in oral tradition, what do we really know about him? Is the Saci just a metaphor for the mysteries of nature? Or is his laugh still out there, echoing invisibly in every whirlwind that spins across our path? They say running into the Saci is never something you plan. It's always a surprise, and almost always a frightening one. It all begins with the wind. A cold gust that comes out of nowhere, spinning dry leaves into sudden whirlwinds. Your heart races, because anyone who knows the stories understands. Every whirlwind might be hiding the trail of the Saci. When he shows up, it's in quick hops, balancing on his single leg with an agility that defies the eye. On his face, a mocking grin. In his mouth, a lit pipe, puffing out little clouds of smoke that seem to dance around him. But what truly stands out is his red cap, a magical object that gives him his powers and even grants him invisibility. Stealing that cap is said to be the only way to catch him. But no one who's ever tried walked away unharmed. The Saci isn't evil by nature, but he is mischievous. He loves messing with the unsuspecting. He might sneak into your house without being seen, hide your belongings, put out the flame on your stove, or even ruin that perfect recipe you thought you had. Out in the countryside, he is infamous for tormenting travelers, leading them off their paths, or scaring them on silent nights. In the stables, horses are his favorite victims. At dawn, many owners find their manes braided, an unmistakable sign the Saci has been there. But darker stories are told as well. Some say the Saci can turn violent if provoked. Hunters who dared to challenge him claimed their dogs went mad in the forest, attacking shadows that weren't there. Others say that when they tried to trap him, they were surrounded by whirlwinds so strong they almost carried them away. And there are those who believe the Saci doesn't just play, he punishes. People who disrespect nature, hunt without need, or mistreat animals are said to become his favorite targets, suffering pranks that can escalate from harmless scares to serious accidents. What chills the most, though, is his laugh, a short, sharp giggle that rides on the wind and crawls straight into your soul. Some swear that if you hear that laugh at night, it means you've already been chosen as the target of his tricks. And so, somewhere between fear and laughter, the Saci lives on in popular imagination. A small figure, but massive in mystery, turning whirlwinds into gateways to the unknown, and making the silence of the night his stage for endless mischief. What's most intriguing about the Saci is that he, doesn't just live in the stories told by grandparents around the fire. Even today, there are people who swear they've had real encounters with him. In the countryside of Brazil, travelers claim to have been chased by sudden whirlwinds that appeared only in their path, as if guided by some invisible force. Some say they clearly heard a mocking laugh echoing through the woods, even though no one was around. Others tell of seeing a small, agile shadow vanish between the trees before they could even process what they were witnessing. One of the most well-known cases comes from farmers who, for decades, would wake up to find their mares with their manes braided, as if invisible hands had worked through the night. For them, there was no doubt. It was a sign the Saci had been there. And there are even more unsettling stories. People claim to have tried capturing him using glass bottles, one of the supposed traditional ways of trapping the Saci. The ritual is simple. Throw a sieve over the whirlwind, then lock the creature inside a tightly sealed bottle. But those who tried swear it wasn't that easy. Many say that as they got close to the whirlwind, the wind grew so strong it almost knocked them down, and a piercing laugh echoed, mocking their attempt. Some believe they actually managed to catch him, but afterward, strange events began to happen, as if the Saci had left behind a curse on anyone bold enough to challenge him. What's most disturbing is that these accounts don't just belong to the past. Even today, in rural communities, people say they've seen the flash of a red cap vanishing into the forest, or felt a cold wind swirl around their legs, followed by that unmistakable laugh. And that raises the big question: is the Saci just a piece of folklore invented to explain the mysteries of nature? Or is he still out there, hidden deep in the Brazilian forests, laughing at our disbelief and playing tricks on anyone who dares doubt his existence? The Saci Pererê is so much more than just a character from old stories. He's part of our identity. An invisible trickster, a guardian that keeps haunting, amusing, and puzzling generations. Somewhere between laughter and fear, between legend and reality, the Saci survives because he touches on something deeper. Humanity's need to give shape to mystery, to explain the unexplainable, and to respect what we cannot control. Maybe the most fascinating thought is this: while you're listening to this story, he could be right nearby, hiding in the next whirlwind that rises before your eyes, blowing pipe smoke into the night wind, or laughing softly at you right now. So, what do you think? Is the Saci just a piece of folklore, or is he real, still laughing at us from the silence of the forest? If you enjoyed this dive into Brazilian folklore, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next episodes. Here on Urban Secrets, every week we reveal new mysteries, legends, and secrets that challenge reality.